Looks like a land of make-believe, but it does indeed exist. Discover Newfoundland and Labrador, Canada's easternmost province. Nearly half of its 560,000 residents live in coastal fishing villages. A dependence on the sea has demanded a superior port network. One of the Canadian Coast Guard's largest regions, Newfoundland has 55 active harbours. Traditionally, cargo vessels made up the bulk of the traffic through Newfoundland's harbours and ports. But today, more and more cruise lines are choosing Newfoundland as a port of call. Here, the land meets the sea with the rugged, majestic landscape stretching along a 17,000-kilometer coastline of unspoiled beauty. A fascinating history of events and people have molded Newfoundland and Labrador. 1,000 years ago, Norse Vikings settled the New World, 500 years before Columbus set sail. In the late 1500s, Red Bay, Labrador was the whaling capital of the world. Newfoundland and Labrador can boast being home of the first transatlantic wireless transmission, the first transatlantic flight, and the first colony of Britain. This is Newfoundland and Labrador, a cruise ship destination like no other. Our tour of Newfoundland ports starts on the west coast of the island in Corner Brook. The fjord-like approach to Corner Brook through the Bay of Islands provides a spectacular setting for the cruise traveler. A colorful dockside greeting welcomes cruise travelers to this hospitable city.
The port is really coming into its own now. Now that we have the Griffin Drive, which is Marine Drive, and Seal Head with the container port, and now with the cruise ships, it's just absolutely an economic benefit to the community.
Corner Brook is blessed with an abundance of natural beauty. The cruise lines and the response from the passengers arriving in Corner Brook is very similar to Scandinavian countries, most particularly the fjords of Norway.
The scenery coming in looks very familiar to us as a Norwegian. This is looking part of the same country we have up in northern Norway and the western Norway, up facing the North Sea. But coming in here, it looks like a nice place, and today especially very good because of the nice weather. But I was surprised to see the good docking facilities there, because you have a nice wharf and you have good fenders, and this is something we're always very happy to see.
In the response that we get from the cruise lines is that the harbor is very easy to operate in. It's about 1.5 miles wide turning basin, natural deep water channel, and very good docking facilities. There's always an onshore welcome for the passengers. Curling Sea Cadet Corps always provides music. The band plays for every ship that arrives. The passengers enjoy either full-day gross morn tours, and usually we just have the one bus that does that, or the one coach. And then we have half-day tours of the city and half-day tours of the Bay of Islands. The passengers particularly enjoy doing walking tours because there's a lot to see and do in Corner Brook. A trip to Captain Cook's monument, which overlooks the city, and which of course is a monument to Captain James Cook, who charted this Bay of Islands. Cruise lines tell us that the passenger response to the port rates very high, among the top in the world. There are many seasonal fairs and festivals which feature local Newfoundland cuisine, food, crafts, and music.
Thanks to the support we have from the Coast Guard and Mr. Lester and other people that we have, we've worked well together, and we're looking forward to seeing the tonnage increase again in the port.
In the winter, Marble Mountain provides the best alpine skiing in Canada east of the Rockies. Less than an hour away is Gros Morne National Park. Designated a World Heritage Site, Gros Morne features some of Canada's most striking geological formations. Its glacier-carved fjords, bare rock ridges and tundra-like plateau give the park a stark, barren beauty. Abundant and varied wildlife, such as moose, black bear, woodland caribou, and Arctic hare inhabit the park. The park also offers hiking, camping, fishing, swimming, and boating. The Port of Corner Brook is a large, sheltered, deep-water port with year-round capabilities. With more than 24 kilometers of water frontage, the port can accommodate large vessels without tug assistance. In addition to other terminals the port offers, there's an upgraded public wharf with container traffic capabilities. This wharf is over 360 meters long, 85 meters wide, and has a minimum depth alongside of 9.1 meters. Ample upland storage area is available, as well as a 2,000 square meter steel-framed shed. Services offered by the port include fresh water, minor repairs, stevedoring, supplies, fuel, a harbor master, and Canada Customs. Transportation to and from the port is provided by several trucking companies, and airports at Deer Lake, 50 kilometers away, and Stephenville, 80 kilometers away. Corner Brook is the ideal port of call. Less than an hour by road west of Corner Brook is the town of Stephenville. Midway between Europe and the Americas, it is ideally situated to serve these two major shipping routes. The only commercial wharf facility in the harbor, which is maintained by the Canadian Coast Guard, plays an important role to the local newsprint mill. The wharf has a docking face of 293 meters and a minimum depth of 9.2 meters. In addition to container handling capability, the Port of Stephenville offers fuel oil, petroleum lines, wharf lighting, fresh water, minor repairs, a harbor master, and Canada Customs. Located only 4 kilometers from Stephenville Airport, both are contained within an 8,000-acre industrial park. In addition to 6,000 square meters of upland storage area owned by the Canadian Coast Guard, the industrial park has some fully serviced areas and buildings available for future business development. Originally developed as a U.S. Air Force base during the Second World War, Stephenville Airport has a 3,000-meter runway and is capable of taking the largest cargo and passenger aircraft now operating in either North America or overseas. Moving to central Newfoundland, we find Botwood. Nestled in the scenic splendor of the Bay of Exploits in Notre Dame Bay, Botwood has a colorful history. Prehistoric peoples and Beothuk Indians were the first inhabitants of the land over 5,000 years ago. In the 1930s, Botwood was the base for some of the world's first transatlantic flights. The route connected New York to London, England via Botwood by the luxurious flying boats. Ace Sidney Cotton and American aviator Charles Lindbergh both used the site. The year-round port of Botwood is the shipping port for pulp and paper products from the mill at Grand Falls, Windsor. The transit wharf offers a berthing dock over 80 meters long and a depth of up to 9 meters. There's also an oil dock adjacent to the transit wharf. Services offered to vessels calling on the port include a storage shed, fresh water, fuel oil, and a harbor master. Botwood is close to the Trans-Canada Highway and to Gander International Airport. Botwood's picturesque harbor is also an ideal setting for sailing and other recreational activities and is visited by ships from all over the world. In nearby Grand Falls, Windsor, visitors to the Salmonid Interpretation Center can view salmon as they climb ladders upstream to their spawning habitats. Other areas of interest include the Mary March Regional Museum, a memorial to the last known Beothuk Indian. In both Grand Falls, Windsor, and Botwood, there are many shopping opportunities. On the very tip of the Great Northern Peninsula of Newfoundland is St. Anthony. This small community was first settled as a seasonal fishing station for French and Basque fishermen in the early 1500s. A famous name in the area is Sir Wilfrid Grenfell. His efforts at fundraising, building hospitals, nursing stations, and schools enriched the lives of thousands. Well worth seeing while in St. Anthony are the Bonnet murals, which depict the lives of the people of Newfoundland and Labrador. Grenfell Handicrafts, home to many locally handmade craft items which are available for purchase, and Grenfell House Museum, the home of the late Sir Wilfrid Grenfell. From lookout points in Fishing Point Park, one can often sight whales and icebergs. St. Anthony is a scheduled port of call on Marine Atlantic's coastal boat service. The public wharf is over 60 meters long. Minimum depth alongside is 6.4 meters. Vessels are accommodated by a number of services available at St. Anthony, such as fresh water, bunkers, propane, a harbor master, and Canada Customs. Pilots are available on 24 hours' notice, and a floating dock is available for tendering passengers ashore. Near St. Anthony is Lanso Meadows, the site of the first European settlement in the New World. Enchanted by the lush meadows and richness of the land, Leif Erikson and his crew of Vikings settled here 500 years before the arrival of Columbus. Outlines of their original encampment can still be seen. A replica Viking settlement has been reconstructed for visitors to enjoy. This is the only authentic Viking site discovered in the New World and was the first Canadian cultural site to be declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The mainland portion of the province, Labrador, is a land unparalleled in natural beauty and one of the last unspoiled wilderness areas in the world. Clean, pristine, and exciting, cruising the Labrador coast is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. The culture and lifestyles of the many villages on the Labrador coast will enchant visitors. On the south coast of Labrador is Red Bay National Historic Site. During the 16th century, Red Bay was the world whaling capital and home to 140 Basque whalers. After viewing the artifacts and exhibits depicting life in these times, visitors may take a self-guided tour of nearby Saddle Island and examine the archaeological sites while exploring the area's flora and geology. The area is also home to the tallest lighthouse in Atlantic Canada. Visitors will be rewarded by the magnificent view from the top of the tower. Berthing facilities at the public wharf include a 30-meter dock with a depth of up to 9 meters. Goose Bay, the hub of central Labrador, is located 150 kilometers inland on the southwest extremity of Lake Melville. The scenic ride through Hamilton Inlet to reach Goose Bay will captivate passengers. During the Second World War, the airbase was built at Goose Bay to serve as a landing and refueling stop for the Atlantic Ferry Command. Today, the base provides support and coordination for Allied flight training activities, as the British, German, and Dutch Air Forces conduct low-level flying exercises there. Recreational opportunities for visitors in Goose Bay include boat rides to nearby villages, canoeing, or a round of golf. For the outdoor enthusiast, some of the best salmon fishing opportunities in the world are nearby, and whether hunting with a camera or a rifle, you'll see plenty of wildlife. Visitors enjoy the local crafts, such as carvings of soapstone, whalebone, and antler. Goose Bay is the focal point of resupply to communities in northern Labrador. The main transportation link to Goose Bay is its seaport. There are 2 public wharves at Goose Bay. The West Dock, fronting 13,000 square meters of prime storage space, and the main dock, used extensively by Marine Atlantic as a stopover for its coastal vessels. The main dock is almost 250 meters long, 15 meters wide, and has a depth of up to 9.2 meters. Many services are available at the main dock, such as fresh water, petroleum lines, tanker trucks, wharf lighting, and a harbor master. There's a substantial amount of upland storage area available at the main dock, suitable for development, approximately 44,000 square meters in total. Adventure awaits the traveler heading north of Goose Bay. jagged mountains soar from the sea, enticing visitors to explore lands rich in tradition and history. Newfoundland and Labrador, pristine wilderness, breathtaking scenery, and unique culture. Set sail for Newfoundland and Labrador and discover the adventure of a lifetime.